Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gina, and let's talk about plants. So in today's video, it's time for another monthly planty updates. And in this video, I'm going to show you some new plants in my collection, some new products I'm using for my collection. We'll see some new growth in these plants, in some of these plants. And I think that covers everything we're going to be looking at today. So it's hard to believe, once again, that we are in the middle of the next month. I always do these types of videos in the middle of the month so we can see the changes from one month to the next. And hopefully, maybe I'll introduce some plants to you that you didn't know about, or some products that you had never tried. Yeah, so that's the point of this video. It's just to show you what's going on in my collection. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And I hope you guys are doing well out there. We're in the midst of fall right now. And I think today is like the first, no, it's probably like the second coldest day we've had so far. And then I think tomorrow or Saturday is supposed to be like low of 30 degrees. So unfortunately, I think my gardens are going to be totally wiped out. We will see. I still have tomatoes trying to grow, but you know, what are you going to do, right? It's the time of year you just gotta let those things go. So, all right, let's get into some plants. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and start right in this room, since that's where we are right now. We're in my office. Eventually, we will move out to different rooms so I can show you things. So we're going to start with new plants in my collection. So let me grab the first one, and it is sitting here on my Ikea Joe shelf, and I am so excited about this, you guys. So, okay, let me show you the plant. So this is the Scindapsus tricolor. Look how beautiful that is. So I was recently, I was watching Good Growing, I believe is the channel name, with Emma. I was watching, I think it was one of her favorites videos, and she showed her Scindapsus tricolor. And I was just blown away. I thought it was the most beautiful thing, the most beautiful thing. Didn't even know it existed, and instantly I knew that I was going to be adding this plant to my collection. So I actually ordered it from the same seller that I had gotten, and I didn't realize this until after it came to my house, because of the little codes that the seller puts on their pots. It's the same as my Scindapsus Silver Cloud, and the other one, which is, what is that one called? Platinum, Scindapsus Platinum. So these are all from the same seller. And I guess when I was looking, I don't know if he didn't have this one at the time I had bought the other two, or what, or maybe I just overlooked it, or maybe just Emma's was just so beautiful that I took notice to it, and I realized, hey, that's not just a Scindapsus exotica or something like that. But I don't know if you can see, but there are 3 different colors in that leaf, and they are just beautiful. Just love them. And we're gonna get another leaf right there. So exciting. So I've had this plant for, I think, probably a week, maybe a week and a half. So yeah, so that is a new addition to my collection. This beautiful Scindapsus tricolor. Can you see the different colors? This is a shade of green here, and then this lighter, and then the dark. So super excited to have this in my collection, all because of Emma. So that's the first new plant in my collection. And then, since I was shopping, I haven't actually really I mean, I bought those other two Scindapsus. I think those were the most recent purchases I made. I haven't really been buying plants lately. So it's kind of fun to be buying plants again. So, okay. From the same seller, I was just looking at his other listings, and he had a plant, another plant that I've been wanting to add to my collection, and it is a philodendron Rio. So beautiful. So I have the silver stripe, which I love, but I have always, when I've seen these Rios, I've always thought they're just so beautiful. Kind of similar. I should grab my, I should grab my silver stripe so we can compare the looks of them. Let me do that. I'm going to go grab it. Hang on. Okay, so here it is. This is the silver stripe. I haven't actually like put the two side by side to compare how they look. The Rio and the silver stripe. They're so similar. They're very similar. I don't know, maybe the silver stripe has a bigger center pattern, or maybe this one is just so young that you can't tell the difference yet, or there's a different leaf. I don't know, what is the actual difference? Obviously this plant, the Rio, is lighter green, like the color of the leaf seems, well, that's kind of dark there. I don't know, I don't actually know the big difference between these two. They're both beautiful, but I could totally see getting them confused, like knowing which is which. So if you know what the big difference is between the two, let me know. Leaf shapes look pretty similar. I don't know, but I'm excited to have both in my collection. I just adore the philodendron heartleaf plants. They're like my favorite philodendron types. So I'm excited to have both in my collection. So let me set this down. And yeah, so I think those are the only two new plants in my collection. The philodendron Rio and then the Scindapsus tricolor. Yeah, so, okay, so now I want to show you some new growth in the plants in this room. All right, before we do that, I was just kind of examining these again closely, and I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, I could be totally wrong, but maybe, I was going by the name, so silver stripe. Okay, so maybe there's the difference, the main difference perhaps is that you have more of a silver, like is more prominent in the silver stripe. More prominent than what you would see in the Rio. That's the only thing I can think of. And that could be totally wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, new plants. Okay, or I should say not new plants, but new plant growth. All right, so this is the Scindapsus Silver Cloud, and I have new leaves have grown in this plant since you last saw it. I think I might have showed you this last month in the monthly planty updates. I introduced you to these plants, I think. But it is growing amazingly. See that? New leaf, new leaf, new leaf. So that's pretty exciting. So that's the Silver Cloud Scindapsus. And I think my light got turned around here. Very pretty, so that one, and then also another Scindapsus. This is the Scindapsus Platinum. Look how much this one has grown. Big difference between when I first showed this to you last month. Very pretty, such a pretty one. And then, I don't know if you remember, but I got this is the Scindapsus Jade satin variegated. And at the time, there was no sign of new leaves coming out. And look, it's not open yet, but I've got that one there. And then another one is going to be coming out right there. So this one is growing so nicely. So excited about this. Such a beautiful plant. So that's a fun update. And I think that is all the growth updates. I think so. Yeah, in this room. Yeah, maybe. So I can show you guys some root growth. Last month I trimmed my Scindapsus. So this is a mason jar of Scindapsus argyrius and Scindapsus silver splash. And see, you can see we have some beautiful little water roots growing out of there. So that's awesome. That's really fun and exciting. So I have a bunch of these guys to pot up. So that's that. And then I thought I would show you down here in my cabinet, I have had a lot of growth in here. So let me just pull out a few things in here to show you guys. And first off is going to be this Hoya. This is the, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on the name. This is the silver, it's the mermaid tail style. Why am I drawing a blank? The name will be on the screen. Can't even think of what it is right now. But look how beautiful. I know my Hoya lovers out there will appreciate this. Does it start with a P? Just can't even think of it. But look how much it has just like popped out a bunch of new leaves. It's pretty exciting. Now the variegated version is not really doing anything, which is interesting to me. It's not, it hasn't, see when I first got this one, this is the one that was putting out a bunch of growth. And now this one has stopped and the silver one is giving me tons of growth. So I don't know what is up with that. I don't know. This is really pretty. This is my variegated Frydek. It's got one yellow leaf I need to pull off of there. Oh, had my beneficials attached to that leaf. Maybe that's why that leaf died off. Who knows? But look how beautiful. So this is the most recent leaf it gave me. This one just opened this week. So pretty. And I just noticed down here, it's a new growth point down there. So that's exciting. It's a really fun plant. Really beautiful. That's the variegated Alocasia Frydek. And what else in here? I think that is all the excitement. Well, here's this is my Anthurium. This is the, oh gosh, Forgetii. I forget it, the Forgetii. Now this is its newest leaf. They're looking a little bit better, kinda maybe. I don't know. It was suggested to me to put these into pon, so I'm seriously considering that. But to me, I mean, they're looking better. Maybe I'm starting to get the hang of them a little better. Maybe I'll not quite yet put them in the pon just to make sure, because I don't want to screw things up. I finally feel like I'm kind of on track with this plant. So we'll see. If it starts getting bad again, then maybe I'll try the pon route. But I may actually, this one is just This one's not looking so good. This is the Anthurium crystallinum or crystallinum. Maybe I'll try pawn with this one. That one might be a good candidate for it, so we'll see. So I guess that is all, anything worth talking about in there right now, in the cabinet. All right, and then I did want to show you guys up behind me here on the pink trellis up here. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about up there, but I'm going to take you guys off of the tripod and take you with me over there. So let's do that. Okay, so Dorothy asked me in a comment recently how my boutique is doing. So I told her if I remembered, and I remembered, that I would show her and all of you just how it is doing. It's doing marvelously. So when I first got this plant, it came to me waterlogged. It had been overwatered before it was shipped, and I wasn't sure if the plant was going to make it, but as you can see, it's doing just fine. It pulled through. So pretty. And she had mentioned that hers is so thin, and mine is, it's a thinner leaf, Syngonium. Did I say this is Syngonium Boutique? It's a Syngonium. But like compared to some of these others, the thickness, this one is much thicker. That's the green spot Syngonium. And of course, like this one, this is the Frosted Heart, super thick. But yeah, it's my experience too. They're just really thin plants. The leaves are just really thin. So everything's going well on the trellis. I noticed, so here, this is my Syngonium elbow, and I noticed it's decided it's going to put out all white leaves up here now. See that? All white, all white. And even the stem, here I can pull it down. So that one's okay. But like this next one here is going to be all white. So it looks like it's doing, every other leaf now is going to be pure white and then variegated pure white. So that's pretty interesting. I'll have to attach that back up there. But I don't know if I don't know if I'll propagate that, because that's a really pretty leaf. So if it wants to give me leaves like that. In the past, what it has done is it will give me a solid leaf, and then it'll give me a variegated leaf like this. I've never had it where it will give me, and when I say solid leaf, a solid green leaf. I've never had it where it gave me a solid white leaf like this, and then a variegated. So I don't know, that's kind of interesting. I might just let it go and see what happens. All right, I think that is all I wanted to show you on the trellis here. Things are just growing pretty crazy. Yeah, all right. That's a pretty leaf. This is the tricolor, Syngonium tricolor. Very pretty. Okay, so that's all the updates in the office. Now we're going to head out to the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen area. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, so here we are. This is the living room, and the main thing I wanted to show you here is how much this Hoya macrophylla elbow marginata has grown. So, or also I think they're called latifolia now, but just look at these vines just like winding themselves up, coming over here and over here, going up the ladder shelf there, and just tons of new leaves on this one. And a fairly big leaf back here. So this one is loving life, growing a ton. And what else? I think that was all that I saw over here. Now, I'm thinking about switching out this plant. So this is the Snow Queen or Marble Queen pothos. I'm thinking about switching this out, putting something else there. And what I'd like to put there is the micans, the philodendron micans. I think would look pretty because it has that dark foliage, like almost kind of reddish green foliage, which I think would look nice with the just kind of the darkness of the wallpaper. The only problem is this is like a southwest window, or actually no, this is more of a west window. So in the afternoon it gets blasted with sun. So I'm not sure that micans would be able to handle that. I need to research that. I have a feeling it would just be too much for it, but I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. If you've ever had a philodendron micans in a west-facing window and it worked out, or it didn't work out, I would love to know. So I don't think there's anything new going on here. So yeah, let's head to the dining room. And I'm trying to be careful that you guys don't see my dining room table here, because sitting on the table is all of my thrift finds that I want to share with you guys for this month, and I don't want to give you any sneak peeks of that. All right, so this is my lipstick plant here, and I wanted to show you guys that it's blooming. Isn't that pretty? Love the colors on that. It's just so exotic looking. It looks like tropical, and there's more here that will be opening. Up there, there's one that's open. It's just so cool. I love that. And speaking of blooming, my numerarioides, my Hoya numerarioides, I showed you this in my small leaf Hoya video, and I said it was going to be blooming soon. Well, let me set this down a second so I can turn it around so you can see. Look at that. There are those blooms. So pretty. Here. Those aren't open yet, but they will be, and it's very fragrant, and the smell is just floral, just very floral smelling. So cute. And then set this down here. So over here, this here was outside in my little rooster planter, and I brought it in for the winter, and I potted it up and I put it on one of these cute little plates that I picked up at the thrift. And I think it just looks so cute. Let me set this down a second. Look how cute. Love that. Hopefully it will adjust well from going from outdoors to indoors. I did clean it up really good, treated it for pests, so it should be fine. And then we're gonna move this way. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. So this is my Hoya pubicalyx, and this one has been, this one does not do well with a lot of direct sun, I've discovered. See all the yellowing and burnt? Look how burnt that is. So I am going to, this one is like intertwined in the blinds there, all through the window. This one I'm thinking about totally removing it from this location and possibly even selling it, maybe, but I have to take that down. It's just, it's growing pretty crazy, and it's not doing well getting such direct sun. So I think it's time for this one to either be moved to a different location or to be sold. So we'll see. That will be, that's something I need to work on. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you is what is growing in the growth I'm getting in my Ikea cabinet. This is the Millsbow Tall, and it's pretty awesome. See if can you spot what I'm wanting to show you. It's this leaf right here. Actually, there's two leaves like that. Two big. So this is my Philodendron brantianum, and you can see it has the smaller leaves, and it put out this big one right here. Look how beautiful, just so pretty. So this here is the only moss pole I have in my collection. I'm not a fan of moss poles, which is why I only have this one. And I have no plans to ever have any more because I'm just not crazy about the look of a moss pole. But obviously it does good things, or else maybe just the humidity caused this. But yeah, it's really pretty. And then the other plant I wanted to show you is my Piper crocatum. Decided that it was going to grow up in between, right in between. It popped through this cutout here in the shelf and is growing up, but it's giving me some really pretty leaves. And once it starts growing and there's no cutouts in this shelf, so it's going to stop here. So that's when I'll start propagating that plant, and I'll have some in my shop. But it's such a beautiful plant, doing so well. Okay, so over here, we're looking at my Monstera Constellation. This stuff. We're installing a new range hood. So that's the box for the range hood. That's the box, that's the range hood down here. So we're installing that this week, so we're just ignore that mess. But what we're looking at here is my Monstera Constellation. And this plant has not done a whole lot for me. The most recent leaf, came out looking really ugly. And I discovered that this one had some western flower thrips on it. So I've been treating it every single day or every other day. I spray it with my DIY bug spray, and that seems to be doing the trick because you see, look there, there's a new leaf coming out finally. So this plant is definitely happy again. So I can't wait to see what it does. So pretty. My dream one day is to have this just like going all the way up here. Just huge, just this beautiful tropical. I got a little too close to my table. Hopefully you guys didn't see it. My table filled with my thrift vines. But yeah, one day, that's my dream, just to have this filled with Monstera Constellation. All right, so now let's go up here so you can't see my table and go to the kitchen area. There's where my range hood's gonna go in right there. All right, so over here, I guess I just wanted to show you guys that my Philodendron gloriosum, I moved it over here to this room. It was in my dining room with all the other philodendrons, but I moved it to this location because it just needed more space. And I have this long table here for it to sit on, and it seems to really be enjoying that. So that's an update on that. And I don't think there's anything going on in here. Nothing new in this room. So, yeah. Okay, so we're back in the office. And the final thing I wanted to talk about is a new product I am using. So if you remember, I was having issues with spider mites on my syngoniums, the syngoniums here on the trellis, and then also in my bedroom. There's syngoniums in there that I have been having problems with spider mites. And I have been trying to use Azamax. I know I've said that word so many times, and I have bought so many bottles of Azamax over the last 2 months, 2 months, I guess. I have spent a small fortune on Azamax, and I feel like it's finally working, maybe, for these syngoniums here. I also have put beneficials. This is a beneficial mites. I also put those on the trellis here for these. And for the first time in a long time, every time I turn over a leaf, I'm constantly looking for spider mites, and I haven't been finding any spider mites. So crossing my fingers that this has been taken care of. We'll see, at least for now. Still having an issue in my bedroom for whatever reason. I don't know what's the difference. So I was watching a plant channel, and the name of it escapes me. But she had mentioned that she noticed that she had I forget what kind of, a ficus maybe, that was having issues with spider mites. And her solution, she discovered, or what has helped her more than anything, is to constantly misting it. And I actually had thought of that before I even saw her video. I had thought about it, that just, because spider mites, they like it dry. So I thought, well, if I mist them, maybe that will, in addition to the Azamax misting, maybe that will help to stop those bugs. So I had had looked up, some, kind of like a DIY bug spray, but something that I could spray on my plants that doesn't have like soap, because a lot of the DIY bug sprays have soap, and something more than just water, just misting with water. So I came up with, and I Googled it, and I found a recipe it's a lavender spray. So you can also use and it's essential oils. You can use rosemary, you can do lavender. I think there's tea tree, you can do tea tree. So I decided to go with the lavender because I just love the smell of lavender. I have lots of lavender smelling things. That's just my favorite. So yeah, so now my lavender spray, it consists of distilled water. There is, now you can, I have my recipe right here. So you can do, so it's 2 cups of distilled water. And then the next ingredient, you can go with either witch hazel, rubbing alcohol, or vodka. So I decided, now my other DIY bug spray has rubbing alcohol in it. So I wanted to try something different just for the heck of it. So I went and I got a big cheap bottle of vodka that I'm using for my bug spray. And then, so that's 3 tablespoons of that, and then 20 to 40 drops of your essential oil. So I'm using lavender. So this is the lavender essential oil I picked up just off of Amazon. And this one doesn't come with a dropper, so I looked it up. A teaspoon of the oil is equal to 100 drops. So half a teaspoon would be 50 drops. I need 20 to 40, so I am doing just a 1/4 teaspoon of this because it is so strong. That gives me about 25 drops of the oil, and it's plenty potent. You can do, if you want it even stronger, you can do, up to the 40 drops, but I have found 25 is plenty. And then I picked up these amber spray bottles. It's glass. They suggest you do glass because it works better with the essential oils, I guess, to keep them more potent. And then also in the colored glass, so light. And I keep mine like in the closet in a dark space, just so all those ingredients, they stay potent. They don't like lose their potency. So I'll just come in here and I'll just start spraying. I believe my beneficial mites are currently past their expiration date or whatever. Yeah, but you know, I've also sprayed this in my cabinet here and I still see the beneficial mites. So this doesn't seem to affect them, but I'm not positive about that. But I think, you know, it's safe. And I just come in here and I spray all over, and I really wanted a spray without soap in it, just because I'm not going to be removing these things from the wall here. They're going to be sprayed here on the wall, and I just feel like I don't want like a soapy residue all over the cabinet and all over the wall. And I feel like this will just evaporate more. You know, everything, all the ingredients in this should evaporate. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's my new product. So I'll have the recipe in the comments or in the description area if you want to copy that recipe. It has a really nice smell. You know, I spray it in these rooms, and it's just like it's really a really pretty smell. But yeah, so that's the current product I'm using. Maybe something you might want to try. I don't know that it's working yet, but I think the misting does make a difference. It stops those populations that they're not happy to be, those bugs are not happy to be getting wet like that. And I don't think they reproduce as easily. And eventually I should win this fight. So if nothing else, at least my house smells really good. All right, so that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing my monthly planty updates. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. I do make new videos every week, twice a week, and I'd love to have you here as part of the community. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.